Hello everybody. Hello, how are you all doing? I am live, but this is a little bit different, okay? I'm probably going to upload this live, so people who missed it, you'll see this as a regular video, even though we're talking about some of these topics right now, okay? So if you see me, oh, well, who is she talking to? I'm talking to people in the chat. Those of you who will be seeing this video as a regular uploaded video. This is a live though right now, okay? So hopefully the notifications as usual have gone out. Again, back in the day, we used to just wait a few minutes before we got started, but you can't play the music and stuff. So you just gotta jump right in on these topics. So let me just check real quick. I'm checking on my phone to see if I'm live, if everyone is seeing that I'm live right now. And okay. All right, so let's get started. All right. So I have up here on the screen a few things that's going on in our country. There's a couple of things, okay, that I'm going to show you that's going on, the current state of our country. It is very, very real. A lot of things that's happening, food scrutiny, insecurity, people struggling, property taxes, the state of it's just so much. I'll probably have a part 2 and a part 3 and a part 4. So let me see what I'm gonna talk about real quick. The first thing that I want to talk about is let's see. Give me a second. All right. I think I found it right here.
So you mad because you're not getting paid?
Oh, I'm paid.
You said you're...
Okay, so there's no confusion. What's going on with this video is when the USPS, the Postal Service, when they weren't working, or people working for the government weren't getting paid, and then there were mass layoffs. We see a lot of layoffs happening. People are saying that AI is going to replace us very, very soon. I sort of believe it. I see it. And I'm not sure if it's going to happen as fast as they say, but basically he had lost his job. I believe he got laid off, and his woman is recording him. And I have an important message that is going to trigger some women with me saying this.
So you mad because you're not getting paid?
Oh, I'm paid.
You said your leave was revoked because of the government. You're mad. Because you're not getting paid?
Oh, I'm paid.
You said your leave was revoked because of the government. You're mad. Because you're not getting paid?
Oh, I'm paid.
What she did was she emasculated him, kinda, or she riled him up. You can tell with his body language and how he was holding the box that he was pissed off. Why are you recording him talking about losing his job? As a man, that's embarrassing to most masculine men. And you're recording him for the whole world to see and explain, why you lost your job, or are you upset about losing your job? And while his response, you gotta learn how to keep your emotions together. He was trying to play it off cool, like, yeah, I'm paid, I'm good. But the fact that you're recording your man on TikTok live, your personal life, your personal business, and he just lost resources, this is how you make men snap, okay? Not only that, just having a temper period. I just lost my job. Why the F are you recording me for? Especially a man. I'm trying to show women ways who don't know. This is how you make a man feel like shit. This is how you emasculate a man. This is how you embarrass a man who has just lost his job. You're recording him in front of the world to explain why he doesn't have what he had. If he was paying your bills, you never do something like this. You're acting like a child, number one, towards him. This is how you emasculate a man. I'm looking on my phone real quick because I want to see how many people are in here, if these notifications have gone out. Oh, hey, and you don't stop. Yes, the live. I've been live for 5 minutes now. Okay. So yeah, this was an example I wanted to show women because, there are men who come up over here and they really I don't know, they have this image of me and stuff. Some of them, I'm very loving, I'm very romantic, and I understand men. and I'm sweet and submissive to the right man. I do believe a woman should get respect, and I just know that this is something that would make a man snap, because there are a lot of women out here who have no clue on things not to do. And when men say they don't want to be emasculated, they don't always know what that looks like. And to me, this is a perfect example. Your man, if he's paying bills, loses his job, gets laid off, he's already feeling down. You need to comfort him, rub his shoulders and stuff like that. Instead, you're recording him on social media, on TikTok Live, to explain his feelings or explain himself about just losing his resources and his way of providing for you in front of the whole effing world. And men have testosterone as it is, and he was trying to play it cool, and then he just snapped, which didn't surprise me at all when she did that, because number one, you're irritating me, you're pissing me off, why are you recording me? Okay, of course he's feeling it, getting laid off and losing his job. He's pissed off. Okay, so all right, let's go to the next thing. The state of America, baby.
I realize that not everyone can cancel their health insurance, but I just want to point something out. When Jimmy Kimmel got kicked off the air, so many people canceled their subscriptions to Disney and Hulu that it took them days to put him back on the air. So you can't tell me that if those of us who could afford to cancel our health insurance did it, that it wouldn't make a difference. It would. They would have to change something.
What do you think? Okay, leave a heart. I'm always hearing my fellow Americans, oh, we need to do this, we need to do that. But you don't often see it happening. I just see a lot of people who complain about stuff with the government and our way of life, but you continue to accept it. I mean, but she gave a great example. She gave a great example when people cancel Hulu and other streaming services. I think when they fired Jimmy Kimmel, I think that was him who they fired. And because of something about freedom of speech, so they're like, oh, you want to do this to us? Now let's show you. Cancel these subscriptions. And change can happen. It can happen. The thing is, though, I just don't see mass Americans doing these type of protests. I mean, yes, we had the Black Lives Matter march. I've never in my entire life really seen us protest en masse against healthcare premiums, insurance, all of this stuff. I think it could happen. I think anything is possible, but a part of me also thinks we just talk a lot as Americans. I haven't really seen us come together. But she says collapse the system. You know, you're tired of it, cancel things, but you got to do it. You got to be on one accord for it to happen. Okay, you have to be on one accord. But then again, if they know you're about to do it, they'll be plotting in the black background. Okay, they're going to protest, and this is what we're going to do after that. And then when they decide this, then we're going to do this next, and then we're going to do that next, or whatever. And they think they've won, but we'll find a way. They always find a way, and somebody in government and power, they'll always find a way to F you over. You know, TikTok was just sold to American investors, and there's already been changes on the amazing app. TikTok is one of the most amazing apps I've ever been on in my life. There's just an abundance of information, so many interesting people, so many amazing people you didn't even know these type of people existed, and so much knowledge and techniques and skills and knowledge just on TikTok. Even cooking, I've learned how to cook so many recipes off TikTok, things I never what might have thought of making or putting together. Showing you how to garden, how to use a pool equipment to go. Just so much stuff. Older people, all age groups, and a lot of creators have been oppressed. You know, making a video and only zero to 20 views. And now people are like, you got to do this, you got to do that. No, it's because something changed in the algorithm. Sometimes you can feel it when something changes. And they're like, yeah, now that they've sold it to American investors, they're going to silence you even more on TikTok. There are a lot of people who supply the news on there with things mainstream media won't even show you or cover. People doing interviews. This is the era of independent work. Really, people who do freelance things, doing things on social media. If you're a writer, so it's not always easy. It's not easy, and a lot of people were getting famous, paying off houses, buying houses off TikTok, and all of a sudden, you don't see that happening that much. It's like once they discovered, oh, you actually can make your own money on TikTok and give advice and share your knowledge, therapists and counselors and writers and artists and historians and all types of stuff. And it's like, oh, no, no, no. Then they came up over and now people are only getting like 20 views. That's actually 20 views on a video is horrible. And people are questioning what is going on here? Why am I being suppressed? So when you go against, people feel like you go against the system, you give out knowledge, things that people wanted hidden, they'll suppress your views and things like that from happening. Shit, I'm live right now. I feel like there's a conspiracy. Why do I have 14 people but no one's in the chat except and you don't stop? And I appreciate you and you don't stop. I'm just saying, where's everybody else at? Okay, up in this chat. Yeah, I look at stuff like that and think, is this a conspiracy? Are these lurkers? What's going on? Okay, so this woman, the next video I want to share with you, she says that after COVID, that there has been very strange vibes with humans, like when you go to the supermarket, when you go out. And I want to know, do any of you feel this way? Has something changed with human beings to you? Like, do you feel that humans are just acting different? Your neighbors, everybody.
Y'all, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. But I don't care what you say. People are different since that respiratory virus back in 2020. They're different. People are not the same. You can argue with me all day long if you want to. I don't care. I'm a nurse. I live through it. I work through it. People are not the same. I'm not exactly sure what happened, if it's PTSD, if they didn't get enough oxygen to their brain, but people are just not the same as they were back before that it came. I don't know. I don't know if it's because they were in their house for so long. They just got so used to not dealing with the public. Like I said, if it's because they didn't get enough oxygen to their brain and now they just have problems like communicating, but people are rude. They just don't know how to act no more. Have you noticed it, or is it just me? Is it just like healthcare people that we notice it more and more? But it ain't just at work that I noticed this, y'all. It's just people in general, in public. And you can tell. You can tell the ones that have been affected. I don't know. And maybe that's not it, but there's something. Something is not the same.
What do you feel? Do you feel like people are acting different since COVID? She says they're ruder. I have heard a lot of people saying that people are lacking social skills. A lot of people were locked up in the house, but this has been going on for a minute. You have a lot of people who said we're regressing. I've said that, where you've noticed that parenting is not the same. People aren't whooping their kids no more. And yes, you can get mad that I said that. I'm not talking about beating the brakes off of them, but not their kids not understanding boundaries. And you watch what you say. You watch how you speak to me, learn how to speak, say hello, and all of that. You have a few people who still do, but a lot of people are lacking in social skills, guys, especially this red pill. I blame social media too. So many people, yes, I love social media, but I can distinguish social media from, social media is real people that get online and talk about how they feel, things they think maybe they don't say to people all the time, and they do. But you have people who honestly will watch social media videos and they will judge entire people off a video that they saw and go out in the real world and start acting funny around people. Like if you see a bunch of racists saying something and then you get around that race and then you're like very uncomfortable, or you think they all don't like you because of what you've been seeing on social media. And then there's this weird vibe and energy between you. People acting weird because they're on edge. Racism is off the chart on social media, worse than I've ever seen before. And then you go out and then these tensions, you feel it around you at the supermarket or in a store. People are hostile. They have a problem with you, or they assume you have a problem with them. And I really think it's coming from a lot of social media videos where people cannot separate it from reality or making assumptions about everybody. Let's see. I've noticed that the store clerks don't speak. Even when you speak to them, it's very odd. I'm cooking. Okay, I'm listening. Let's see. Thank you. Bless. Let's see. People are mean, rude, not mindful of others, and impatient. Yeah, I think a lot of people are very on edge. Victoria says the violence is over the top. I was summoned to serve jury duty 2 terms this year. Wow. Hey, Chevette. So, yeah, I think social media, and we live in a very depressive state in America. Most of the news is not good news on average. No, 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 no. Because you might think, well, damn, is there ever any good news? You have a sprinkle of good news. You do. But the vast majority of the news that we see and consume and that we see is always terrible. I always say after Columbine, baby, I'm a witness to Columbine as a millennial. I remember the day it happened. And we haven't seen mass unaliving since then. And a lot of people who are Gen Z and Gen Alpha, this is their normal, which is sad. They don't know, baby, there was a world before you not very long ago where this wasn't even normal. This wasn't an everyday, every week event. These mass unalivings, baby, we remember when the big one happened at Columbine High School and how devastated everybody was, how in shock everybody was. And within about maybe a month, maybe 3 weeks to a month, then you started seeing mass unalivings at the schools and supermarkets, and it hasn't stopped since. And I remember it because it was not our normal. This was not my normal life, seeing stuff like this. No American was used to this until that day, terrible day happened. It's like other people got off on it, like, oh, they did that, so we're going to do it, and we're going to continue it, and now we're going to keep doing it. And that's what it's been like ever since Columbine. So, Chivette says we live in a very depressing world and it's sad, full of crime and homelessness. Yes. You know, they said that the new American dream is to leave America. You got people passing away trying to get here, getting on boats, makeshift boats from Cuba, coming to Miami, risking their lives in shark waters, people putting themselves in suitcases on the airplanes just to get up in here. But Americans are like, baby, y'all don't know. Even though there are immigrants who feel like, shit, we make it happen in America, and a number of them do, but it's also something like, oh my God, I realize because prices are going up, people can't afford nothing, the food is toxic, the food is overpriced, the rent is crazy, then property tax, you can't even really own your own home. It's just getting so hard for so many people. Like they're like, we want to live in Colombia. We want to live in Mexico. We want to live in England. I've seen so many videos of people of all walks of life leaving to European countries and some countries I've never even heard of before, and they have gone there and they have made a way. And a lot of Americans are scared because we always believe that our country, I mean, we do have, in comparison, as far as being a woman in America, if you compare yourself to other women in different countries, yeah, you have more freedom. You have more rights than what they do. Even though our country is not perfect, but other people are leaving because they're like, look at the healthcare. Other countries get to see a doctor, even though they pay like half of their paycheck goes to taxes, but they say that they're happier. They get to go to the doctor. Their bread, you can eat the bread and you actually will lose weight. You won't get sick with over 100 ingredients. But I always say that traveling for a Black person is not the same for other people. Now, other people they do have cultural clashes. They do have ethnic wars and religious wars. Just because they're not Black doesn't mean they don't get discriminated against, but it's a different level when you're Black. You always have to be cautious when you're traveling as a Black person. You have to do research. What are race relations like if I go here? How do they respond to people who have more color than them? What is the relationship like with their people who live there, who have some Black ancestry that live in the country already? How are women treated? What's the main religion? Is it Sharia law against women? Like, what's going on here? On top of that, when you're Black American, even though there are a number of people who simply see you as American first and will respect you, they hear your American accent and they see where you're from. But you have to always be careful when you are traveling. But as far as are people acting different, I think a lot of people have always been buttholes for a very long time. I just think that it's increased. it's been increasing severely. After COVID, I would say it was there before COVID, but I really I don't really blame COVID for this. I know people were stuck in the house and stuff, but no, I think it's the stress of, like you said, every day we see some mass unaliving. People are living in storage units. Things feel hopeless for a lot of people. Race relations seem to be getting worse. In my opinion, it's disgusting me. At least what you see on social media. So many people are on edge. Okay, Bless says to be honest, after new rules next year, nobody is gonna come to America. And honestly, I wouldn't either. I mean, our country is supposed to be getting better, not regressing. So, I don't know. Let's see the next topic.
CNBC says that Americans are holding on to our devices longer than ever, and it's costing the economy. You hear that? Do you hear what they're saying here? If the health of the economy depends on our devices breaking and us buying new ones all the time, maybe that's the wrong economy. Maybe the thing that needs an upgrade isn't our phones, but the whole economic system. CNBC says that Americans are holding on to our devices longer than ever, and it's costing the economy. You hear that? Do you hear what they're saying here? If the health of the economy depends on our devices breaking and us buying new ones all the time.
This is why, I mean, people thought that the blackout, there was supposed to be a mass blackout. Well, actually, it's not Christmas time yet. We got 5 more days, and they're like, look, don't buy nothing. Don't buy anything for Thanksgiving. Don't buy anything for Christmas. Don't do anything for New Year's. It's time to show these big old companies, teach them a lesson for trying to take our money while we live in poverty and squander, and we can't have any good food, and the rent's too damn high. Show them. And I'm all for, I don't believe it has to be this is how it should be in your everyday life. You have to buy what you need first and really think about what you want and find what you want at a cheaper price if you can. So he's saying that Americans are holding on to their older devices. Americans are not buying new phones. It costs too damn much. It's like every couple of months, oh, now it's this phone, and then that phone, oh, it's upgraded to this, and it's costing people money. And they're like, look, I don't have time for that. I'm going to hold on to my old phone. I'm like, I feel the same way. I used to pay $95 for my phone bill. I was paying $95 and I said, what the hell? Why am I paying $95 for a phone? I don't even use the phone. I barely even call anybody. I said, I got to figure something out. So I went to Straight Talk at Walmart. Baby, go in Walmart and buy you one of their phones, or you can buy another phone off a different website, but they provide a phone on straighttalk.com. You can order the phone, or you can walk right in Walmart and go to the Straight Talk section and buy a phone and get a good phone, and you can do the payment plan or buy it straight up. Okay, you have no contract, and baby, I was paying 50 something a month. And then I switched to paying like $40 a month. They had different plans. I'm like, why am I paying $50 now? I barely just use the phone. I barely even use it. I'm like, no. So I went to the $40 a month. And then you have Mint Mobile. Mint, there was a woman I was watching. She says she can get a phone plan as low as $9. I know that Mint Mobile has like a $15 or $20 phone plan. Using the same towers that Sprint uses and everything. I mean, if you're a person, you just need some storage, get a good phone with storage on it if you have to pay up for it, and get a no contract phone plan. Okay? Why are you going to pay $95 and $100 and all that when you can pay $12 to $40 for a phone that works just the same? So yeah, I'm like, I ain't paying $95. This is craziness. I'm like, I barely use this phone. Oh no, I have to. So Straight Talk, I highly, highly recommend Straight Talk. I haven't used Mint, but Straight Talk, baby, you can do auto refill or just pay by the month, so hold on. Economic Warfare says, I've had my phone for 5 years. Unfortunately, people are laid off when we don't consume. People think that I'm crazy, says Yvette, for buying it off the brand stuff every time I go to the store if I can find it cheaper. Baby, what you can do If you really want something and you can't afford it, snap a picture of it. Snap a picture and then go on like eBay or Poshmark and put the picture in, and then you can see who already has it for a way cheaper price. There was this Old Navy sweater that was like, it was brand new. I saw it. It was beautiful. And I couldn't get it at the time. I think it was like almost $40 or something. I think it was around that. And I snapped a picture, went on Poshmark. Baby, I saw it for $9 on Poshmark. I'm like, $9 versus almost 40. Let's be smart shoppers. So when it comes to electronics, people, look, streaming services are good, but baby, I have 2 to 3 big old books of my DVD collection. I don't care if people think look, I still have my DVD collection. I have a portable DVD player. All I need is batteries for it. That means if the power go out, if the power grid knocks out, I have my batteries and I have all the best movies in the world that I love that I can watch still. All I need is my batteries that I get from Dollar Tree or I can get from, another store. I'm not throwing my DVDs away because a lot of stuff, some stuff is not even on the streaming services that you like. They don't even have all of them. Even though Tubi is the greatest to me, still, I'm always going to have my DVD. I have a VCR. I said I'm going to start buying some VCR tapes because if something happens, I'll have my movie still. It's a VCR and a DVD combined player on one side. So, yeah. I'm all for it. Now, I am willing to invest in electronics, because I want something that lasts and that's good quality. But you don't have to buy it brand new. You can go on eBay. You can go on Poshmark. I bought one of my laptops off of Poshmark. Perfectly fine, even if it's refurbished, perfectly fine, especially if you're only using it for like 1 or 2 things. My webcam I bought off Poshmark. The webcam is expensive. I think I got it for half price. Some stuff I can pay up for if it's electronics, but yeah, baby, even with clothing, baby, do you know how many things you like? Other brands are selling the same thing at different prices. Go on Poshmark, go on eBay, go on all of that. Go on Facebook Marketplace. Look for the lowest price you can get before you pay big money for it. It depends. Hold on. For iPhones too. I mean, I can pay full price and read the descriptions. Like if it's really bad and it's not good quality, then don't buy it. But look through. A lot of people will sell the same thing. Different prices, save all of them, do the comparisons and all that other stuff. So yeah, I just think it's smart shopping. Coupons, retail me not, using coupons, okay? It's just be a smart shopper. Now, you can pay full price for a flat screen TV, but when I went to the pawn shop, baby, I didn't even know the pawn shop had nothing but DVDs for like 50 cents to $1. Most of them were just $1 DVDs. Now, the thrift store will have them for usually $2 or $3. The pawn shop has all the good DVDs for $1. And when I looked, baby, there were like 5 big old flat screen TVs at the pawn shop for maybe $30 to $50, big old ones. I said, now, I did not know that. So yeah, go to the pawn shop and get a flat screen for a way lower price at the pawn shop. So I once had a Nokia phone for 20 years until it stopped working. Damn, 20 years. I had an iPhone 6 that I got off Amazon for $98. People try to pick on me about my iPhone 6, but the 6, 7, and 8, and 9 is all the same phone. Yeah, people were raving about iPhone 11s too, but then something is going on with that. But yeah, I don't care about what phone is the latest. It has to have storage and it has to work. That's all I need to be able to call somebody and hop on the internet and use my apps. That's all I need. I don't care all that other stuff people care about. No. But the phone plan, yeah, Straight Talk or Mint Mobile. That's what you want to do. I'm telling you, you do not have to pay $100 for no damn phone plan. Okay? So, and this is what's happening with the economy. People can't afford things no more. So they're holding on to what they have. Things are just too expensive. So they're getting pissed about it. But hey, I mean, things need to go down. All right. So before we continue, y'all, I want you to get those likes up. Let me take a drink of my drink. Hold on. Get those likes up. Hold on real quick. I had to get a little sip of my sugar-free. I'm trying to do better. My sugar-free fruit punch from Minute Maid. You can find that at any supermarket. It tastes just like regular fruit punch. Oops. I was trying to get something up here, y'all. I'm upgrading myself with some things. Okay, I want y'all to subscribe, get those likes up during this video. It does affect the algorithm. Okay, and yeah, I love this picture. I'm all about the look. I'm a Y2K. I'm a millennial. So I have to laugh at Gen Z on TikTok claiming that, oh, we're trying to copy. Like, no, baby, this is our look. The millennials right here. Look at that eyeshadow. That pretty blue eyeshadow. Got Rihanna, Christina Milian, Beyonce, Shakira, Britney Spears. These women were everything and they still are. Yes, I love this so damn much. So yeah, get those likes up, everybody. Okay. Let me see the comments real quick. I had an iPhone 6 again. I had it since I was a teenager. Tello has a plan for as low as $4 to $5. $4 to $5 for a phone plan? What? Tello, Tello? Wow. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so let's go to the next topic real quick. Give me a quick little second. People holding on to their old electronics. Let's talk about this thing about Asians at the supermarket not wanting white people to come in H Mart. Let's see this.
Now listen here. I don't know what's going on with the whole H Mart situation and the white people. I don't know nothing about that. But one thing I can speak on is what my experience is like shopping in an H Mart as a black man. And unfortunately, it's never really a good one. Now, let me preface this by saying, those of you who have been following me for a long time, you know that I have a huge love and respect for Asian culture, but damn sure Asian cuisine. I just find the way they approach food to be very interesting and to me just more, I don't know, it's just more fascinating and it's more inventive, and the way they use spices and peppers and more natural things to make food saltier or sweeter. I just find it to be very interesting, which is the reason why you guys typically see me make so many different Asian dishes, right? So for me, I spend a lot of time in different Asian stores, primarily 99 Ranch Market, but also H Mart if I don't feel like traveling as far. But I will say, I don't know why this is, and I hate that this is the case because I know that this is a stereotype that has been around definitely for as long as I live, which is some Asian people don't feel safe or don't trust black folk. Because anytime I walk in an H Mart, I be in there just as happy and just as giddy, ready to do my shopping for the month. And all I can feel are people staring me down. Not staring me down because they think they know me from online. Not staring me down because they're amazed at how many products I have in my basket. They are looking at me, going from aisle to aisle, following me to make sure that I'm not about to steal anything. And the only reason why it has not stopped me from shopping and supporting those stores is because I have to hope and assume that not everyone is like that, but also because I'm still going to respect the culture and I still love the food, so I kind of have no choice but to go there. But that is oftentimes my unfortunate experience at shopping at stores like H Mart or, you know, any type of boutique Asian grocery store as a black man.
I had to play this video. I was on TikTok and I said something. And look, I want to make it very clear. I want race relations to improve. I want the good people of every race to get together and do something because we all exist. But just because I do love all races, it doesn't mean I like all races. Does that make sense? I can't dismiss my experiences or anyone else's and just like, oh, it's all kumbaya and it's all, that's not reality. That's not true. I always say that is 50-50. I always say that's the most fair I can make it. 50% are racist as shit and 50% are cool with you and don't care that you're black. My thing is, it's just the audacity. I had called out, there were so many, look, what happened was, there was an Asian woman who said she side eyes when white people come in H Mart to shop for their items and that they're going to try to appropriate or steal from them because of the whole matcha thing, that disgusting ass matcha and that boba nasty shit. Yeah, I said it. I tried it. I don't like it. That's my opinion. If you like it, that's fine. But it became very popular, and then white people started making matcha and selling matcha stuff. The same thing with oxtails, how we were eating oxtails and it was cheap, and then white people who in power who discovered it raised the prices on oxtails and you can barely buy it, and now they're doing that with matcha. So that's what she was trying to say, but she didn't go into full detail, but she says she looks at them like, why are you here? And I thought it was disgusting. She sounded like a racist. And then I saw people saying, yeah, you got to gatekeep. You can't tell people what they can and cannot eat. I love Asian food. I dated an Asian man and I ate really good when I was with him because his mama can cook and he could cook, but she was still a racist. I told you about my experience with his mama, and it turned me off for a long time with him. Cambodian. He was Cambodian and Chinese. Look Mexican because he was a mixed Asian. And I saw things up close, baby. I dated one. I lived with one. So I experienced stuff up close. I ain't gonna go into detail about that relationship. That my experience is not the experience of every other black woman. I've seen a lot of them who are very happy. I didn't have that experience when I was dating him, but it also showed me how racist people are. That's why it's just funny to me when I saw black women high-fiving an Asian woman. I noticed that now that more Asian women especially are becoming more vocal of being anti-white, that black people who just want somebody to grab onto and their hatred of white people get so happy. The ones who do this, like, yeah, girl, oh, y'all waking up. Yeah, sis, or why they in H Mart? We feel the same way. I don't feel that way because I eat food from different cultures. I like Indian food. I like Asian food. I like Italian food. I like my soul food. So I'm not going to have nobody telling me what supermarket I can go in. You're not doing that. I don't have any choice. If I'm making Asian foods like him, he doesn't have any choice but to go in there because it's the food from their culture, and the average store is not going to have all those products. My thing is that I'm not about to join in with other ethnic groups and their hatred of white people because I don't even go through a lot of racism with white people in my everyday life. But you ain't going to have me doing none of this. Or they didn't ask. They just did it. A lot of black women like, oh, yeah, they shouldn't be in H Mart, the white people, and they're going to try to take over your food, or why they coming up in there, you can't have nothing. I'm like, shut up. How do you think people make money? How does Walmart become the top supermarket? Because all races are going to them. You don't start a business to cut people off because you're cutting off money. The goal is to make money. So why on earth would I ever support, oh, you can only have one race shopping from there? Don't get me wrong. I understand the importance of having something cultural, especially coming from a history of having our things destroyed and all of that. So I understand the importance of having a safe space to go where you can find these foods that maybe you won't find in the everyday market type of thing. My problem is that until Asian people fix their effing anti-blackness in their race, and Indians who are Asian and everybody else, I'm not going hard for you hardcore. Because if I can't date your fucking son, which was the case for some of them, or you want to stare at me the way you were staring at this black man for patronizing your business with kindness, and you still want to look at him like he's an effing thief or what you doing in here, don't expect me to go hard for you. No, you fixed your effing demonic, anti-blackness, anti-human kindness thing before you get that fully from me. The same thing I said with the Mexican community. Yes, I know me saying this sounds funny. Yes, I had a Mexican friend, very kind, very sweet, and I miss her. No, I don't have an issue with all Mexicans. But I went to a Mexican supermarket. This was years ago, before all of this ICE stuff. Baby, the look that little Mexican girl gave me and my mom, like, what you doing up in here? The stank look. Just pure disgusting. I wanted to smack her little ass. But she's still a child. But it's, and people say, oh, it's learned behavior. I don't care where it's, please. She was nasty, a racist. But yet you think I'm going to be going hard for you right now. That's just one of a few experiences. Now, you better fix your shit first, your issues against the black woman, especially because a lot of people don't have an issue ganging up against us with the black man. You go fix your problem with us. I don't even care. Fix your problem. Or if they think you're related to them or more racially close, they act a little bit nicer, or they keep questioning what's your racial background because they're racist and they're trying to judge how they should treat you and how black you might be. Fix that before you ask for this whole allyship thing. I can be friends with anybody and I'll support people getting along. But we're not going to sit up here and lie, because I've been seeing all these videos popping up of these other people of color talking about our communities have this tension and we doing this and that. I'm like, first of all, my people don't stare you down like that. We don't call you racial epithets in front of your face in another language when you come in. We don't treat you like a number of you have treated us. So don't try to get up on the internet trying to pretend like we've been harassing you and calling you all type of racial slurs in front of your face and telling you you can't come around. Because we don't do that to you most of the time. It's the opposite. So don't get your ass on the internet trying to act like we're just have these tensions with each other, because we both know we don't start the fights with you half the time. You're the one staring at us coming in and calling us miate and whatever language you got in your damn culture. So don't try to paint this picture, baby, like we've been the ones up on you. I got to say it. Even as a woman who swirls, I'm going to say it. Okay? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I have never met. Oh, come on, Jamar. I know not everybody's racist, but I'm not ignorant or stupid. I'm just saying, when I see these type of things, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there aren't any hostile black people who might not have an attitude, but a lot of times, if a black person has a supermarket, you ain't gonna find them walking behind a Mexican and a Cuban and a Cambodian, like, what you doing up in here, and following you on every line, and when you ask them a question, giving you this look like, or saying a racist word about you right in front of your face. I've never witnessed that at a black establishment when other people not black were around. Don't get me wrong, you might have some that kind of pause or look at you, but it's not as strong as with these other groups that I've seen. So I find it very interesting how they kind of come up on the internet, because black people are making it clear we want respect and we're not butt kissing nobody. And all of a sudden our communities just have this tension and, we ain't treating each other. And like, no, we don't bother you like that. It's the opposite. You're the one staring at black people and saying all types of shit in front of black people's faces. So you can miss me with that. And I know, baby, I knew racism when I dated that Asian man. I ain't never had that many nasty, disapproving, unkind treatment and looks in my damn life, especially from the community they thought he was from. Please, but everybody, let me calm down. I'm calling out the hypocrisy, because we don't treat a number of them. And I'm not saying there are innocent black people. I have met a racist black person. I was friends with was she Vietnamese? I know I said that wrong. Vietnamese. I think she was Vietnamese. Vietnamese. I know I always have a tongue twister when I say Vietnamese. She was so kind to me and she would confide in me. And I had a friend at the time who was not my friend. She ended up being a fake friend. And when I was hanging with her, she came up and she said, "Who was this? Why are you with her?" And I looked at her like, "Why are you talking to my friend like this?" because she's Asian? You don't know her. And she gave the stank looks. This was my black friend at the time. Like, why you with her? I'm like, what you mean why I'm with her? Like, you don't know me. I have friends from all backgrounds, girl. And I don't treat my friend like that just because she's not black. That was disgusting to me. So, yeah, I look at all that stuff. Golden Pisces says an Asian boy slapped me when I was 9 and called me the N-word for nothing. I think he was mad I was lighter skinned than him while being black. I made him not feel superior. I can totally believe that. And let me tell you something. You see a lot when I was dating that Asian man, I had visited him in a part of, I'll just say way up north. Way up north, I visited him. It's a community where it's other people of color, but none of them are black. They're not black American. And I remember in the apartment building, these 2 little Asian children was looking at me with this stank look on their face. Then I remember going into the nail salon. It was Hispanic, Asian, and Indian, and white women. Baby, when I walked in, the whole fucking room got quiet. I'm like, oh, so all y'all little bitches, women of color, you want to try to team up on me type of thing because I'm coming in the nail salon. Okay, so they got an allyship against the black American, a number of them. Them women be nasty. That's why I hate black men who always praising these non-black heifers who are nasty as shit, some of them. Some of them are getting better because they're the new generation. This was almost 20 years ago when this happened to me. But I still remember it like it was yesterday. Okay? So it's just tripping me out how some of them want to act all innocent, or when it's time to whine about the white man, he colonized us. The white man, the colonizer. Yeah, I don't care. And you're racist towards my people. So what makes you any better or any different? The white man is a cop, please. Yeah, he just colonizes all of y'all. He just come up over and take up all of y'all. Even though historically that has been true a little bit, that's like, why ain't your men fighting for you? Like, what's going on here? But y'all don't like the white man, but yet you refuse to put any women from your race on TV that looks black or as black, close to black as you can get, while upholding so-called white supremacy. Oh, we were colonized victims, and this is why we're suffering from a Eurocentric beauty standard, and this is why. That's a bunch of, yeah, y'all was like that before that. But at the end of the day, if you're not going to treat a black American woman with respect, despite whining and crying, why do I have to fight and cry for you? If I can't date your son or come up in your house, or you want to stare at me in your damn establishment, you go fix that. You go fix that nasty, stank, demonic heart of yours, Miss Buddha and all of that, who acts so spiritual, and we have karma energy and the universe, and we love God, and I'm Catholic. Y'all fucking go shut up. Excuse my mouth. You go be quiet. Talking about y'all religions and spirituality, but I can't date your damn son or come up in your house. You get out my face. But you want me to go march for you. Please. Don't get me wrong. There were people of color. It doesn't matter, Monica. I've had different experience based on how I look. To some people, they question my race, and they're nicer. And to some people, you still obviously still have a mix with black and stuff, and you ain't my people. You ain't my people. And they can tell you ain't my people, they will still treat you bad. Okay? And this is what happens. You know how many videos I've seen of biracial girls who live in towns like Utah and Connecticut who got treated like something off a fucking slave movie because that was still too black for them where they lived, and they didn't even look as black can get. So it's different for different people. Like I've said before, I've had Mexicans who thought I looked kind of Mexican and question it, is she the N-word in their language? Like, is she? You trying to figure it out? I've had Africans staring at me saying, what is she? Oh, she's the white man. That's what one of them said, these Africans in New York City. Oh, no, she's the white man, with like this nastiness. I remember a black man said, thank you, my brother, to an African man at the corner store. And he said, I'm not your effing brother. That shocked the crap out of me when I saw it. I've had different experiences. And just because you don't look strongly black to people, if they can still tell us there, or even if you don't, but you don't look like their people, you will still get treated a certain way, especially if you claim your race. Like, okay, I'm black. And they tell their mama that I'm dating a black girl. Baby, you gonna find out. I remember this guy I was talking to, not black. His mama, I told you, well, I don't know if she knew it was me on the phone because she knew he dated women who were not white. And I called and she picked up the phone and I asked to speak to him and she said he's not home. And before I could hang up that phone, she says, "You black bitch." That's what she said. Baby, I was a teenager. I was a teenager. She was old enough to be my mama. And that's what she called me on the phone. She didn't even see my face, but she knew because she knew her son don't date white women. So yeah, I have some experiences, baby. But I have to tell you, most of the racist experiences that I have experienced when it has happened, I've had a sprinkle of racism with white people, not hardcore. But the most when it has happened has been other people of color. I always say that. To me, they're nastier than what people always claim. White Americans are some of the nicest people I've met. And some of them, it depends on where you are. Some of them can be you can feel it. Or if they don't want to put the money in your hand at the counter, you can feel it sometimes. And you can experience it. I would say it's a mixture. I've experienced it from all, even racism from black women on a job I was on. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. And people will say it don't exist because, oh, well, you have to be a dark black woman too. That's a bunch of bullshit. Bullshit. That's an effing lie. So I've experienced the nastiness from all of humanity, which is why I say what I say. All of humans have this in them, a number of them all across the board of all races. So please with the bull crap. So I just found it kind of hilarious. I didn't like seeing black women going so hard for Asians on this topic about telling white people don't come to H Mart to shop for your food. Oh, yes, sis. Get them, sis. Yeah, I understand. It's like, yeah, and I also understand that you stare me down if I come in your Asian business. So why am I going to go hard for you? No, you better fix how you treat me before I'm jumping up for you against the white people, and I'm not doing that anyway. But, I mean, I had experiences. There was a time I didn't even like to go to get my nails done, like getting my feet done. Because they start talking about you in their language and stuff. And it's just so obvious. It's just so awkward and uncomfortable. A number of them will start asking you really personal business and then talking about you in their language type of thing. In a way that you know they're talking about you. Or going in the beauty supply. I haven't really had that many bad beauty supply experiences. Maybe like twice before. I remember there was one, my mother was asking her about something. She just kept staring at my mom. She spoke English. She was just rude. Or this Asian woman at the beauty supply, they start hiring black women all of a sudden. And she was saying, "Who named you that? Why would your mother name you that? Who named you that?" And I didn't jump in the conversation. Now, don't get me wrong. I know some names can be ghetto. I understand that. And it can harm you to get a job. But I wanted to jump in and say, well, what about you? Y'all have these long names, ex-Jean, Jean-Bigin, Jean-Bigin. Like, we don't know what that is. But yet you think you can come up over here and start criticizing somebody's name, and y'all have these names that we can't make out. But who do you think you are? You know what trips me out? I'm going in today. Don't bring your ass to America talking down to black Americans. Yes, we have our problems, but who are you? Baby, we've been here since the 1400s. You're an immigrant. Who the fuck are you to come up over here and look down or talk to me a certain way? And I've been up over here. My people been up here for hundreds of years. You didn't. Who are you? That's insulting to me. Like, who are you? You think you can come to another person's land and then talk crap? And now they're trying these humbling tactics, the Africans, because they're upset about some stuff, saying, you know, y'all was originally Africans, and well, if they get deported, where are you going, baby? I'm American. We are descendants of the originators of this country. The indigenous that was here, the Africans who were brought here, And the white colonial people that founded was called America. We descend from them too. And I know y'all, I know I ain't supposed to say it, but it's true. So that gives us, we have triple of the right to this land. What are you talking about? And who the F are you? Don't come up over here. That's like coming to somebody's house that's been up over here for 700 years, and then you walk up in here with your head held high, like, what you doing here? No, what you doing here? This is my house. But we don't boast like that. I've never been one of those black Americans that's ashamed to claim my country. I've always been proud to be American. Don't get me wrong. We have our issues, but no, baby. We have a very, very big history here. Yes, we have fallen some with current things we're seeing in the culture, but don't get this shit twisted. Okay? So don't be coming up on over here to my house trying to question me or treat me with racism like in your country up in my house. You up over here. And I think that bothers some of them because, yeah, you're doing my feet and you're servicing me. I'm not your slave in your country. This ain't your country. And unlike the black people where some of y'all from, we ain't bowing down in 2025. I will fight you. When I hear about them stories of East African women being starved over in Saudi Arabia and shit, I'm like, I don't know if that shit will work on a black American in 2025. We will fight you. You understand that? We will physically fight you to the death, some of us. Shit, slavery been over for a minute. We ain't going back. Understand that shit. So y'all can talk about slavery and stuff. Some of y'all foreigners talking crap. Y'all still got slavery in your homeland. Some of y'all cutting up vaginas and forced marriages and shit and slavery and servitude and stuff. And then coming up in America trying to treat some of us like we the damn foreigner. What you talking about? You're the foreigner. But that's because black Americans never took pride and boasted about being America. It's always, I don't know, some of them I see over in London. I'm just a black American. I'm just black. What the fuck you mean you just black? As if that, what is that, baby? What you talking about, you just black? Like that ain't nothing. First of all, you ain't just black. You literally have a huge amount of genetic diversity, and you created the culture that inspired the whole effing world in many different ways. I ain't talking about the toxic parts. In many ways, and you go into other countries trying to downplay who you are while they're copying you. Please. I wish you would ask me where I'm from with an attitude over in England. I'll check your ass real quick. I've seen those videos. I don't give a fuck that you from Ghana or Nigeria. So what? And you still fucking got child marriage and cutting up vaginas all over Africa. I'm not impressed. While dressing like my women. And I'm not talking about all of them. I'm talking about the ones talking crap all the time. The ones who talk crap. I ain't bowing down, baby. It ain't happening. And that don't mean that I have to go around acting like I'm better than anyone. But black people got to get pride in being black American. And I've seen it happening a lot more, but I just wouldn't do it in a way to put anybody down or to cause people to fight and all that other stuff. There's ways to do that without making people feel bad. I'm just saying. Economic warfare says the color of my skin is light golden brown. I wish black Americans would come up. Yeah, we've accepted it from the government. That's why people are so confused. People are so confused because we haven't come up with a term. And then I see people saying, oh, no, you can only be FBA if all four of the grandparents is black. I'm like, first of all, no, because you got a lot of people raised by their black American mama and the daddy ain't there and all they know is black American culture. I feel like if you have any American slave ancestry, you are related. You're a descendant of the black American experience. It's a part of your lineage, your heritage. So I'm just saying. And you know, some people don't like black Americans because they don't like that we don't want to bow down to nobody. They don't like that we ain't going to take some of their crap. They think, yo, you got an attitude. You got a big old head, a big old mouth. Oh, I can't call you a slave and make you do the hell no. Shoot. We just got to get it together up over here. That's why people think they can talk so much crap, because we've been getting out of order and we've been falling off in certain stuff. So they're talking crap. And now all these videos coming out about the Somalians and some other group with this fraud, this fucking fraud stuff and everything. So people are like, oh my God, y'all was talking all that smack, but y'all was doing bad stuff too. Okay. So let's go to the next topic. And by the way, I love all races of people, but despite what I just said, I want everybody to come together, but you have to learn, you will respect me. I'm not your slave. And you will not come to my country of all people of color trying to treat me a certain way. Yeah, we have issues. I'm not going to deny that. But y'all got issues too in your countries too that I can name. And believe me, you know I can. I've researched. And my thing is, you ain't going to treat me like a foreigner in my damn home country. Who the fuck do you think you are? We didn't check it. That's why they be doing that shit.
You shouldn't choose a job you don't want to do, honey. Because I can, and I'm grown, and I continue to talk. You shouldn't choose a job that you don't want to do. Because I want to, and I'm going to, while you're ringing up my thing. I'm going to talk to you, and I'm going to address you because I asked you, you are supposed to make sure that the customer service is up, no matter where you work. I'm not arguing with you. I'm going to talk to you, young lady, because I'm going to ask you to bag my thing the proper way, and you're going to do that. You shouldn't have chose a job you didn't have to do. Absolutely. Absolutely. You're an employee, so you should act like that. You should act like that all the time. That's the problem with y'all young people. That's why y'all not going to prosper. That's why you continue to work like this, because your attitude is messed up. Somebody should have raised you. Add to the double bag the bags.
Okay, go.
Calm down. Shut the door. Shut the door. That's why y'all can't get no good help. You shouldn't choose a job you don't want to do, honey. Because I can, and I'm grown, and I continue to talk. You shouldn't choose a job that you don't want to do.
I had to show this. This is a lesson. Don't bully and pick on the cashier. This woman said, that's the problem. Y'all young people, this is why you're not going to prosper. You know, you need to do your job. You don't want to do this job. You need to go somewhere. I don't know all of the situation. Her manager had to come up there to try to diffuse this. But she was like, that's the problem, baby. You're not going to prosper. And people said, you at the Dollar Tree shopping. I love the Dollar Tree, first of all. But she's like, oh, you're at the Dollar Tree telling her she ain't going to prosper. My thing is, baby, if you have a problem with a person who's bagging the stuff and you see they're younger, she says, y'all younger people, that's what's wrong with y'all not gonna prosper. Like, you gotta just learn to let some things go. She said, yeah, why are you still talking? Like, I'm not talking to you, leave me alone. Okay, so look, yeah, she says, girl, you're at the Dollar Tree harassing this girl. Okay, so just try to be nicer, y'all, when you go out. If you're having issues with the cashier, you know, just try to stay calm. Okay, now let's talk about this EBT situation again real quick. What's going on in the country when it comes to this?
Can we talk about the real reason why people are angry about SNAP? I was a case manager for SNAP and Medicaid for years, recently just up until September when I resigned. It's not about the taxes. It's not about the nutrition, people buying processed foods. The reason why people are really angry and bitter when it comes to SNAP and they're happy and rejoicing that people aren't getting their benefits is because they're mad that they don't qualify. As a case manager, I cannot tell you how many people would call in to apply for benefits, and when they either didn't get them or when their benefits stopped because they made too much money, they will go on a rant about how everybody else is getting them, and they will start talking about immigrants and all types of stuff. It's because they're bitter that they can't get them, because they probably make $100 more than the income guidelines. And I will say, the income guidelines for SNAP are very low, okay? People need help. I completely understand that. I wish there was more help for the people who were in the middle, right? The ones who make too much for SNAP and Medicaid, but still are struggling to pay all of their bills, you know, and to buy food and stuff like that. So I understand the frustration. But the fact that people work jobs, full-time jobs on SNAP, tells you that your beef should not be with the people who need it. Your beef should be with the people who are paying these workers absolutely nothing while they're sitting at home in their billion-dollar homes, okay? And the crazy part about it is you being happy about somebody else's SNAP being canceled does nothing for your pockets. What is that going to do for you? It is so odd to me. How does that help you? You're still going to be broke and frustrated and angry, whether they get benefits or not. So it's just so weird. It's just misery, and people project. But when I say people be so upset, and even I worked at unemployment for a while, and this was during the pandemic, and it was, you know, everybody was getting like the PUA and all the extra money and all of that stuff. And I was working, like I was handling some of the fraud claims. So people would like email and say, you know, this person, a lot of times it was people who would say somebody committed fraud in my name, right? So like they open up benefits. I don't live in that state. I didn't apply. But the other emails that we would get would be like, this person, they would have their information. It would be family members, friends, neighbors reporting that somebody is getting unemployment and they shouldn't be getting it. And they would sometimes even say out of frustration, like, I couldn't even get it. I don't understand how they're getting it. Jealousy and misery. So that's why people are really upset. It ain't about, y'all don't care about the $32 that it takes annually in taxes to pay for SNAP. Y'all don't care about that. Y'all don't care about what people are eating. Like, let's be for real. It's the same vibe as like when a fat person be online and y'all try to act like y'all so concerned about their health. People you don't even know, okay? You don't care about that. You don't like the fact that you can't get them. Can we talk about
Leave a heart if you agree that the reason so many people lost their minds on TikTok mad about food stamps was because they couldn't qualify to get no food stamps. So they're pissed off. So Kiki says this is why you don't tell folks all your business. They turn on you and all this craziness. So leave a heart. I see a heart so far. Another heart. That people are jealous that they couldn't get food stamps. I can definitely believe that. Okay? I mean, people crashing out because, oh, someone bought some Oreos for their food stamps. I'm like, Oreos? Why are you mad that somebody bought Oreos? Let a person buy some Oreos, okay? So listen to this. The state of America. This woman is going to read to you something that her friend, a woman's friend, is going through. It made me just feel so bad. Okay?
Dear Charlotte, prices have skyrocketed here between the tariffs and loss of farm workers and everything else. During a recent trip to the grocery store, I shop about once a month. Items that used to cost me about $100 cost me $175. Not quite double, but close. The Trump regime has ended the low-income home energy assistance program that helped many poor people, disabled people and senior citizens heat their homes in winter. We don't know how we will afford heat this winter. People are discussing how low to turn down the thermostat and how to dress in layers to try to keep warm. People are planning to block off bedrooms with heavy sheets of plastic and just heat living rooms and kitchens to save money. The whole family can sleep on the living room floor. They're sharing tips like take bubble wrap over your windows and make sure you wear a hat indoors, even to bed, because you lose a lot of body heat through your head. A friend of mine who was on the verge of homelessness was evicted from her apartment because she could not pay the rent. She is now living in a tent in the desert in New Mexico. She figures she's going to die there. I feel powerless to help her. I got her an application for an apartment where I live, where rent would be based on her income, and I offered to pay the application fee of $30 for her. but she's hundreds of miles away and I can't give her money for gasoline to drive here, and I'm not sure her car would even make it. I know it feels to her like no one cares, and I know many people care, people around the world care, but that's not going to be enough to save many of us. It's hard not to despair. I try to look at the bigger picture. My friend may not be saved, I may not be saved, but the future may be saved. We may help to save it, even if we ourselves are lost. I'm making chili today and baking bread. The chili has more onions and canned tomatoes and broth and less meat, so it's cheap. Homemade bread is always cheap. It's comfort food, and I am in need of comfort. Dear Charlotte, prices have skyrocketed here between the tariffs. Dear Charlotte.
Oh, her reading that, you can just feel it, the despair. And so many people says it sounds like something from the early 1900s, not 2025. She says up top, Americans will freeze and starve to death this winter. Oh, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Leave a heart if you can hear me. Can you hear me now? I won't continue unless someone, okay. Oh, the video, okay. So she says Americans will freeze and starve to death this winter. And she was reading her friend who's stuck, literally stuck, living out in the desert type of thing, or out where it's cold. And what are people going to do? What are people going to do? She says, we're dressing in layers. We're turning down the thermostat, trying to find ways to stay warm. You know, I'm thinking maybe there's something we could do as Americans where we have a GoFundMe. Well, GoFundMe is to help people, but it's usually for like emergencies, like medical type of emergencies and house fires and stuff. What if Americans just decided to give $1? If a person gave $1 to different people, like, I need help to pay off the rent, I need this and that, and everybody just gives $1 on a website, and then the person gets it type of thing. I don't know. You know, people also think, damn, we got all these wealthy, very wealthy people. If they could just help, they don't have to, but I'm talking, you got multi-million dollars and $1 billion and stuff, and just help save people type. You know, it's just, it's hard when you see this. You know, the food pantries are being overrun. Winter is here. Winter is here, and people don't know how to stay warm. And think of the towns where it's very rural and they don't have anything. Even before this EBT crisis and the inflation, people were already living really bad. It's even worse now because prices, again, have skyrocketed and people don't know what to do, which is why I said earlier, for a lot of people, the new American dream is to leave America for a number of people. So, you know, if you can give to a shelter some blankets, a heating pad, some food, give to your shelter if you have food available, or make a Facebook Marketplace post to give out free stuff. If you're close with your neighbors or you just want to check on your neighbors, you can do that as well. As a matter of fact, listen to what this woman said.
Let's talk about the war on the poor for a minute, and something that I experienced yesterday. I live in a tiny little 800 square foot apartment in a relatively affluent area of town. There's all kinds of multi-million-dollar homes, lots of college professors, lots of rich retirees, lots of like doctors and nurses and things like that. And then my crappy little apartment that was built in 1983. But I walk on this trail system with all of these affluent people. It's a paved asphalt trail and lots of bikers, lots of pedestrians out. So I was out for my walk yesterday morning, and I was wearing a pair of ripped up sweats, and I didn't have makeup on yet, but I mean, my hair was in a ponytail. I'm still like, I'm me, right? So as I was walking along this trail, anytime a biker would come up beside me, they would ring their little bell very respectfully, passing on the left. Good morning. Somebody actually called me Sunshine yesterday. A biker who was approaching me said, good morning, Sunshine. Lots of smiles, lots of people being very kind. Midway through my walk, I ran into a young man who is experiencing homelessness. And because the SNAP benefits may go away, I'm doing everything that I can to help everybody around me. I run a small homeless nonprofit. I asked him if he had any food. He said he didn't. So I told him there's a Trader Joe's a mile and a half this way. If you want to walk with me, I'll buy you some groceries. This man was obviously experiencing poverty. His khaki pants were filthy, full of holes. He had a filthy shirt on. His baseball cap was caked with dirt. His hands were dirty. His hair was scraggly, and he had a backpack that was kind of ripped up. And we were well over to the side of the trail. But the minute I started walking with this man, everything changed. Bikers came up behind us and yelled, "Scoot to the side! You're in the way!" Not one person rang their bell and said passing to the left. Nobody said good morning. As people approached us, coming towards us, most people looked away. Most people looked down. And again, even people coming towards us were like, "Scoot to the side." We get into Trader Joe's and people are staring at us. He smelled. I smelled too. I'd been out for a jog. I almost started crying in Trader Joe's. He was quite uncomfortable being in there. He asked me to just go in and buy the groceries for him, but I wanted him to pick out his own stuff, so I did. I filled up a Trader Joe's canvas bag with everything that he could possibly need, plus some ice cream that he ate on our way back. And as we walked back, the same thing. People treated us like shit. There were only two people. A woman who had a rainbow hat and a rainbow shirt and pinkish hair on a bike. She smiled and said good morning to both of us. And a skinny little grandma on a bike, she also said hello. Everybody else treated us like shit. The minute I left him and started to walk on my own again, a couple was approaching me side by side on their bikes, and they merged to give me lots of space and said good morning.
Morning.
Let's talk about the war on the poor for a minute and something that I experienced.
And she's not telling a lie. It's just, and this is why that church experiment was so important. You have so many people walking around claiming to be people of God. I love Jesus. Jesus is my friend. I love praise Jesus. I'm going to church on Sunday. But look at how they treat people when they see someone is in a bad situation and that they're homeless. Looking down on them. It could be you. Do you know how easy it is to turn homeless? Like, that's extremely easy. The average American is like 1 to 2 paychecks away from being homeless. The average homeless person never thought that this would happen to them on average. You do have a few who are on drugs and everything, but on average, there are a lot of people with degrees who are homeless, people who had jobs who are homeless. And I would never in my life look down on somebody who was homeless. And I know I had an experience. Now, I wasn't homeless, but I was going through something where they might have thought it. And I saw people for how they really are when they think that they don't think you're a person. They don't think you're worthy of love or to be treated with respect because of what they think your financial or social status is at the time, type of thing. And it's just disgusting to me. Like, who the F are you? I mean, don't get me wrong. I know if somebody stinks and smells, you kind of like, oh, Lord, they need a bath. But if you have a lot of money, why not offer them to take a shower at a hotel? Like, put a trash bag on your part of your car. I mean, you just can't pick up everybody, though. People are crazy. There are people who are homeless, who are predators, who was essaying people, who ended up homeless. This happens too. But I mean, buy some jugs of water. You can get a gallon of water, a bowl, a soap and a rag. They can go somewhere in the woods and pour it in the bucket, fill it up with soap and water, and use the soap and on the rag and wash themselves up. Okay, get a pair of scissors, wash their hair. I mean, those things you can do, but you will see how people will treat you when they believe that you're homeless, or they think you're sick, or they think you're dirty. I mean, a lot of people are not as good as they claim to be. A number of people are not as good as they claim to be. And I always feel for homeless women, especially because it's dangerous. A homeless man will still grape you if they can get away with it. You're a woman, you're more vulnerable. You have a menstrual cycle. How are you going to deal with your period being homeless? Especially if you're heavy, you have period diarrhea out the blue. Y'all know that happens. And being stink, you will be stink. So you have to think about that, having access to pads and tampons, and you have to be able to wash. So all of that, I think about that when it's women who are homeless. It's even worse for them being on a period and smelling and diarrhea and pain and all of that. So I definitely don't think anyone should look down on anyone being homeless, and it's a shame. It's disgusting how they switch up from being nice to her and oh, she's with the homeless man. A lot of people are homeless right now. A lot. I've seen it on TikTok. People sharing how they get by being homeless. People saying I meet so many women and men living in their cars, but they don't look homeless. You know, they look a little together and people have no clue they're living in the car. I have seen heartbreaking videos of elderly senior citizens living in the car because they can't afford where they live. This is horrible. It's winter time. And then when summer is too damn hot in the summer to be in a car, and then winter is too damn cold to be in a car, you'll freeze. So thank God for shelters and churches that do actually help people. But this whole church experiment has shown a lot of people that there are people who aren't always as good. You know, there was another church experiment. We saw the first one here in America. The second church experiment happened in England. She called a bunch of churches and it was the same response from Christian churches. One of them said something like, we're not a shelter or a charity. I don't know. They said something very smart mouth to her because she said she needed help with formula or something for the baby, like what happened here. It says the British woman's TikTok experiment goes viral after 42 churches refused her to help her, but a Muslim mosque came forward instead. Once again, the Muslim mosque offered help, but 42 Christian churches refused her. And I'm like, what's wrong with y'all? How can you claim to be a servant of God, Yahshua, Jesus Christ, and I serve the Lord? I'm here because when the rapture come, I got to be ready. I'm going to be ready when the great day that comes like a thief in the night happens, and that I'm ready. I've paid my dues here on earth. I've been a servant of the Lamb and all this other stuff y'all be saying. I've done it and I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Baby, a lot of y'all, if it were to happen, you ain't ready because you ain't going to be chosen. A lot of y'all not going to be chosen. You think because you go to a church and because you label yourself a Christian that somehow you're more important or more better than other people. You need to get saved. You didn't go to church. You got to get saved. I'm like, I actually have a nicer heart than you do. I don't have to label myself a Christian or any religious thing if I don't want to be a good person. And it's a lot of people who claim to be a servant of Jesus and all that. And this experiment has proven that that's a lie for a number of people, whether they're Catholic, Methodist, Pentecostal, Baptist, Mormon, regular Christian, LDS. What else is there? It's a whole bunch of different stuff. I'm like, why do y'all have all these different denominations for the same Bible and God? That's just weird to me. Like, what is up with all these different types of Christianity? That's just strange. I never understood it. But yeah, talking about you love Jesus and stuff. Half of y'all are racist out here. How can you be of Jesus and being a racist? And then y'all not even helping people when they come to you in need, talking about I'm a Christian because I want to be like Jesus, Christ-like. And then y'all behavior is completely opposite when somebody is calling the church in need of help. It's disgusting. Disgusting. And then they're like, oh my God, the Muslims, the mosque, the Muslims said they would help. Yeah, because there are people who are Muslim, who practice Islam, who are nice people and would help you. You know, just because they don't believe Jesus is the Son of God, or they think he's a prophet, not the Son of God, then they think, oh, that means you're the devil and I can't like you and you're out to harm me. And they're finding out that that's actually not true. A number of them will help you and have good hearts like every other people, excuse me. So I had to show that to you. Now let's see, what's the next thing I want to show? When it comes to the EBT crisis, I had to show you how much they were actually selling some food at the supermarket. You're not going to believe this.
Look at this. Oh, perfect.
Do you see this? Stores are making no SNAP November meals. This was in November. Let me zoom in. So for $1.02. $1.02, y'all. You can get pepperoni slices and 2 hot dogs. I mean, with some homemade pizza though, you can put some pepperoni slices on it, or you can get just get some regular bread or a hot dog bun type of thing. And for $1.02, 2 hot dogs and a bunch of pepperoni slices. You got to get creative, baby. You got to get creative on what you can do with this. So I'm like, wow, this is what they made at the supermarket. Interesting.
Here's what I think people are not getting. When a person like myself is warning you that we have a problem with grocery prices not dipping seasonally, like this is going to be trouble. When we're telling you this, when people like myself who have lived 10 years on an ultra frugal homestead, I have a canning pantry that is deep stocked. I have a dry goods pantry. I have a freezer pantry. Lots of home raised produce, home raised meat, stocked to the brim with like frozen eggs. Like we prepare for these things from our experiences living rurally and the struggles that brought. When I'm telling you that these grocery prices really concern me, like that should be a huge red flag. Not because I'm smarter than anybody else, but because having been stocked ahead and watching the prices go to the point where I am eating much more out of my backup reserves than I'm being able to buy and bring in, I don't know how people who don't have any backup reserves or had a small backup reserves, how they're even going to do it. COVID was tough, but we adjusted, right? Like I changed a lot about how my family ate. Post-COVID, there was another price increase. I adjusted again how my family eats. We don't eat meat every day now. We eat a lot more vegetables than fruit because fruit is not expensive. But now we're having a problem where seasonal produce is not dropping. And so I can't restock what I'm eating out of my canning pantry. I can grow a lot in my garden, but I can't grow everything here. I don't think there's enough appreciation given to like what a red flag that is, that people who are already stocking ahead are realizing that these grocery prices are big trouble. It should be a giant red flag.
You know, and we see it. Like I said before, if you have any extra money right now, stock up. Stock up on rice, stock up on beans, dry beans, canned fruit. Stock up on seasonings, stock up on aluminum foil, stock up on just think of things: medicine, Tylenol, Advil, alcohol pads, stock up on flashlights, an old school lantern, a hand crank radio, a heating vest, waterproof matches, the electric sort of handheld match lighter that you can find at the Dollar Tree. Stock up on batteries from Dollar Tree. Stock up on Dollar Tree items. Stock up on if you can get an old washboard they used back in the day, they sell those too, the modern kind too. Get that. Stock up on gloves. Stock up on masks. Stock up on, I don't know. I can't think of everything right now, but stock up. Make a list and go to the Dollar Tree, go to Walmart and stock up. Okay? So especially if there's a sale, stock up on it, okay? So we see what's going on in the food industry, but also the medical industry. A lot of healthcare premiums have doubled and tripled, so a lot of people are giving up their healthcare insurance because it's just too damn expensive. And they're like, look, I've seen people saying, look, damn it, if it's my time to die, then it's just my time to effing die. Put it in God's hands. Okay, I can pray on it and God will save me. If it's my time to go, it's my time to go. I'm not paying for no damn health insurance no more. That's too much of a damn bill. I've seen some people say, I'm not doing car insurance no more. That's dangerous. But people are saying that the hell with that. And they're like, yeah, in the last days, they said you'll be happy with less because things are just getting so overpriced that F it. I just want to live free. I'm tired of being a slave, damn it. Give up the health insurance. And people are like, but if you got kids though and they get sick, I'm going to show you something you can do if you don't have health insurance. So, yeah, they said, look, hospitals are charging $700 for a single bag of saline solution, but it only costs $1 to make. They said, so this is how you're getting scammed. You're going to the doctors, and that damn IV, that saline solution is $1. But when you get your bill, it's $700. But it costs $1 to make it. You can't make this up. That's why they're like, we're going to other countries to get our medical needs done. It says that a recent report highlights the surprising reality behind hospital pricing for one of the medicine's simplest suppliers, the basic IV saline bag, okay? It costs about $1 to manufacture. Hospital will bill the patients hundreds of dollars for them, marking it up 100 to 200 times the price. The issue came to light during an investigation in 2012. They found a food poisoning outbreak in upstate New York. While many patients received identical IV saline from the same distributor, their hospital bills vary dramatically, even among people treated in the same facility. It says an elderly woman and her grandson were billed $787 and $393 for an IV treatment, despite being covered under Medicaid. It cost $1 to make, but they were billed $787 and $393. It says a privately, let me zoom in on this, insured patient was charged $91 for a saline bag that cost the hospital 86 cents to make, plus additional fees for an IV. Another patient at the same hospital treated for a longer stay was billed $8, while her insurer was charged $546 for the 6 liters. Okay, liters. The wide price swings stem from the supply system itself. Hospitals generally can't negotiate directly with manufacturers, instead relying on a small number of large purchasing groups and distributors that control the market. This multi-layered supply chain leads to inconsistent pricing and steep markups that are rarely transparent. Efforts to get clear explanations from the state health officials have fallen short. Okay, let me show you something that you can do. I want to show you something that I found out about, and this is a very real thing. If you decide to give up your health insurance right now, you need to have a doctor. You can find a DPC doctor. That means you only pay a subscription every month. You might pay just $30 or $50 every month, and you will see the doctor. You will be prescribed medicine and pills at your pharmacy, and you will see the doctor. They even have your phone number in some cases, and you talk to them directly on the phone for, like, many cases, $30 to $50 or $100 for a family plan. Look at this. It's called a DPC doctor. Look it up. There's a website where you put in your zip code, and it will show you the closest one in your entire area.
I'm that doctor who doesn't take money from insurance companies.
Okay, and a number of doctors are doing this to cut out the medical and middleman insurance so that you can see a doctor. Go to DPC Frontier. There it is on the screen. DPCfrontier.com. Put in your zip code and a list of the doctors in your area that will see you without health insurance if you just pay a subscription fee, and you will get everything that you need. Usually.
So at my practice, patients pay a monthly membership fee, and what they get is all access primary care. So that's all their visits included, and it doesn't matter if they have insurance or they don't have insurance. And one big question I've been getting asked is, if I do not live near you, how can I find a direct primary care doctor near me? So I pulled up the website. It is the DPC Frontier Mapper. And the website is mapper.dpcfrontier.com. So what you're going to do is you are going to put in your zip code, and it will populate all the direct primary care doctors like me, but in your state. So it's a really cool tool, and I hope you're able to find a direct primary care doctor that's a good fit for you, because let's face it, insurance companies do not have our backs, and insurance is not healthcare. So what we're doing as direct primary care doctors is really trying to keep you healthy. prevent disease, or even treat chronic disease to keep you out of the ERs, urgent cares, and keep you as healthy as possible.
Okay, so look, times are hard. A lot of people said I cannot pay $900 a month. I cannot pay $2,000 a month. Oh my God, what am I going to do? I have to have health insurance. Where am I going to go? Go to what she said, the website, DPC Frontier Mapper. Okay, just type that in, or DCP Frontier Finder or Frontier Mapper. Right there on the screen, type in your zip code and you'll pay, again, just a low-cost subscription so you can see the doctor. And also there's GoodRx that will give you coupons and you can pay an extremely low amount for your medication. Just research this, okay? Let me show you another DPC doctor.
I had a patient who came to see me right as I was leaving my former community health job, and she was coming for her chronic disease management appointment. So she had diabetes. We checked her A1C. She doesn't get her bill for 6 months. At this point, I've transitioned to direct primary care. She started paying her membership, has seen me already, didn't cost her anything extra. And then she gets a bill like 3 to 6 months later, and she's like, hey, this bill that I got in the mail, is there something we can do about it? Because she knows that in DPC we have discounted labs, discounted medications, because we're able to get those things completely at wholesale pricing. So I'm like, hey, so just for kicks, send me a copy of the bill that you got in the mail. And so when I identified the date that the service was, it was when I was at the community health center. Her bill for her A1C, because she had her labs done 3 days earlier than what they would cover it, her bill was $120
for one lab.
A1C.
That should be $4.
And so I was telling her, unfortunately, because it wasn't when I was in practice, I can't change the bill now. Yeah. But through us, it was like $3.85.
Exactly.
That one lab test alone and what she had to pay out of pocket covered her monthly membership fee.
Okay, so she was like, look, you pay that much. With me as a DCP or DPC doctor, you would have only paid $3. They do the lab work and all of that for you. Okay, so y'all better get up on it. Let's see. Reva something says Isaiah 33:24. Look, I'm not against praying. If you're a Christian, go ahead and pray. Quote the Bible and pray. If it doesn't work, this is a resource for you to go to the doctor if you don't have health insurance. Now let me show you 2 more things.
Okay, so don't shoot the messenger, but yes, rumor has it that health insurance rates are going up again in 2026. But don't worry, because I have a solution for you, especially if you're in the Fort Worth or Burleson area. Check out Direct Primary Care Burleson. We are a monthly membership that includes 100% of your primary care, 100% of your urgent care for families, adults, children, everybody. It's going to give you unlimited visits, no copays, no deductibles, once-a-year annual blood work included in your membership, pap smears for women, free cancer screenings, virtual specialist consultations at no added cost, immunization for kids. This is such an all-inclusive plan, and it's for one low monthly affordable rate. If you have not heard of Direct Primary Care of Burleson, you are missing out, because in 2026, you're going to save money, and you're going to have a real relationship with your provider. You're going to have actual response time. You're going to have customer service. This is everything you're looking for to save money in 2026 and get the most amazing care you've ever had. Please check out our website at www.dpcburleson.com.
If you've been thinking about joining a direct primary care or a DPC practice, here are 5 reasons why you absolutely should not.
You enjoy meeting new people in the waiting room, spending 30 to 60 minutes waiting for your appointment, but you're chatting it up with your new friend Susie? That's perfect. But in direct primary care, most of the time you're either going to be greeted at the door or you're going to be taken to your room, your exam room immediately. So I know I don't enjoy waiting for my visits, so we don't make our patients wait either. If you prefer the thrill of being rushed during your 10-minute visit, that's cool. Maybe you don't have time to sit for a long visit after you just sat in the lobby for 45 minutes. If you got things to do, that's cool. Get your script on the way out the door. But in direct primary care, we spend time with our patients because we're making sure that we clarify every question. We're doing all the education that's needed. We want to get down to the bottom of things so that we can address all of your symptoms and concerns. We're all about making sure our patients feel heard, empowered, unrushed, and educated. So a lot of times our visits will last about 30 to 60 minutes. Number 3 is because you love surprise bills. There's no need for us to be transparent about pricing because you're just going to wait to see what you get in the mail in 6 weeks. But in direct primary care, all of our costs are upfront. So whether it's your predictable monthly membership fee, we're also going to go over the price of cash pay labs, cash pay imaging, so that you know what to expect and you're not caught off guard. Procedures are included. There are no additional costs or copays if you have urgent visits. No matter how many urgent visits you have, if you keep getting infection after infection, you have back pain, those urgent visits are covered without additional copays. 4 is you don't want fast access. So waiting 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6, 7, 8 weeks for an appointment, that's cool because you got to check your schedule, right? But in direct primary care, we give you care when you need it. So that urgent concern that you have, it's urgent, right? It needs to be addressed urgently. So we get to see our patients same day or next day. We're not going to send you to urgent care or the ER because we can't fit you into our schedule. The last one is you're allergic to long-term commitments and long-term relationships. So if you enjoy going to urgent care and seeing a different doctor or a different provider every time you get seen for something, that's cool. In direct primary care, you see your same physician, your same provider every time, and we truly get to know you. So when something is off, we know when something is off. We also want to make sure we can follow up, offer emotional support, and just put the care back in healthcare.
Yes. So economic warfare says, I don't think a lot of people know about this. If they did, why would they have traditional health insurance? Because most people don't. I didn't even know about this until more recently, and a lot more doctors are getting on it because a lot of people can't see the doctor and this health insurance stuff. So yeah, go to DCP Frontier Mapper, put in your zip code, and you will see all the hospitals or the doctors around you that you can see, and you will pay an extremely cheap amount of money to get your medications, to be treated, and you'll only pay a membership fee to see them. And in some cases, again, they have your phone number, or you have their phone number too. Like I said before, I think like $30 or $50. And if you have a family, like $100 a month versus paying $900 and stuff, what they're doing right now. The only thing is, though, is like if you have a major surgery you need and you end up in the ER, then that would be a little different. But overall, a lot of people will have health insurance for a long time, and you're not even going to the doctor, and you're paying so much money. Now you can just, if you don't have a whole bunch of health problems anyway, and just pay a monthly fee, go get your checkup, get prescriptions, all of that. And even if you do, if you have diabetes or whatever, you can still go to the direct primary care doctor, probably get your insulin. Again, GoodRx has the cheap coupons to get your medication. It's like the same thing you're getting already, except you're not paying so much money for it. So, yeah, so this is more people are becoming aware and are leaving their health insurance to get a direct primary care doctor. So, thank you, y'all. Thank you. This was so important, this right here. So y'all better spread the message. DCP Frontier Mapper. Get a DPC doctor, baby. Look into it. DPC doctor. DPC doctor. Okay, and look at GoodRx as well. So speaking of healthcare, a lawmaker, Republican Congresswoman Ashley Hinson, she's introduced a new law. She wants men to pay 50% of mom's pregnancy-related expenses. So the baby isn't born yet, but hey, she has to go to the doctor. Women still have to go to the doctor and have to get things. She wants men to pay. Y'all were against the abort. You know what? Y'all want women to have babies. You're a daddy. You're going to be a daddy. Now you have to pay 50% of the expenses before the baby is born, because it's not like, oh, she's pregnant, then she goes into labor. No, she has doctor's appointments and all types of stuff, especially if she has issues. And now, baby, she wants y'all to pay 50%, 50-50. It took half on a baby, baby. Okay? So, I'm not against this, actually. I'm not, because she didn't get pregnant by herself. So, yeah, step up and help pay for these doctor's appointments and everything. Okay.
Y'all, I got my property tax bill today. I know you fucking lying. This shit is highway robbery. I bought my house back in 2022. When I bought my house, it was a little over $6,000. Then less than 2 years, my property taxes went up to over $10,000. Now I get a bill today. It done went up another $8,080.10. I know you fucking lying. They don't want us to own shit. Matter of fact, we never do. We never own shit. Because whether your house is paid for in full, if you do not pay your property taxes, you could lose your home. And they say this is the American dream, to be a homeowner. I mean, look at this shit. And then they tried to, hold on, y'all. Let me show. Then I qualified.
I believe it says $11,000. $11,000. Am I seeing things? 11,000.
For the homeowners exemption, right? So what they did was they took it up to $13,443. They took the homeowners exemption up $2,274.48. Look.
You know, I don't have my glasses on. I think it's 13,000, y'all, not 11,000. 13,000 is what she said.
11,169 for this year's property tax. Hold on, let me just stroll up just a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. Let's do the comparison. Look at this shit. Property taxes was just $10,089. Y'all, they taxing the fuck out of me for no goddamn reason. Like, I mean, anybody can relate to what the fuck I'm saying right now? Because what the fuck is going on? Like, and then we got Orange Face. He's signing everything else but making these goddamn property taxes go to fuck. Sign an executive order for that.
Too much cursing that'll mess up my live. Hopefully this is monetized and it's not messed up, but it's craziness. $13,000, and she's not telling a lie. They tell you get a house. That's the American dream, to get your home. You get the home. Property taxes used to be very cheap. Now, $13,000. Where is she gonna get $13,000 to pay for this house? A house that she owns. Why does she? Because she doesn't own the property. This is why people say, well, if you have your own land, then build a home on your land. But the average person doesn't have land to build a home. So you have to pay these property taxes. $13,000. And this is why a lot of people are not buying houses no more. They're like, it costs too much. It costs too much. And then you have to think about it too. Like, if you don't have kids, why should I mean, I could buy a house for me, but yeah, I mean, if I want to pass it to a family member, okay. But you have to think about all that. Like, am I going to buy this house and pay these property taxes? And then if I don't have kids, who I'm going to leave this house to? I guess, you know, a relative type of thing. But $13,000, they have lost their mind. They have lost their mind. Lost their mind. Susan says home ownership in America needs to be boycotted. This makes no sense, says Mr. Universe. You never really own it. The prices are too high. I rent because I don't want any maintenance or responsibility, never again. Or, you know, the tiny homes thing is really the thing right now. I'm like 5'9" though. Like, I don't even know if I could fit comfortably in a tiny house being about 5'9". So, I mean, once I put my shoes on, I'm 5'9". So I'm like, I'm not against the tiny home thing. Then RVs is a thing, and mobile homes. I'm not against a mobile home at all. In the South, in parts of the South, mobile homes are very common. The only downside is some of the mobile home communities have a lot of crime, and some of the mobile homes haven't been updated with the infrastructure, and you have to remodel it and all that other stuff. And some of the ones that are pretty, they cost a lot. They cost like $100,000, some of them, because houses have gone up so much. But I mean, and then even if you have a mobile home, you still have to rent from someone if you're on their property. If you're on it, they'll charge you like $400 or $500 a month just to have your mobile home on their property somewhere for you to stay. If you have land of your own, you could get a mobile home and try to put it on your own land. But it's getting hard. It's getting hard out here. Oh, Mr. Universe says, I'll build you a house. Okay. I want a nice house. Okay. Well, I would like my mansion. You know, I used to say that I was going to have 4 kids at one time in my life. So 4 kids, 4 rooms. Well, 4 rooms for the kids, my room, a chill room, my storage room, another room for my closet because I got a lot of clothes I need room for. Then I'd have to have some fur babies in the house. I want a garage. That I was calculating all that, but now things have with the kids thing, I don't know, but I'm just telling you, it's craziness. A lot of people, I have seen the videos of people who bought a home and they gave up their home. It's like, oh my God, I bought the home, but then it was costing me more than I ever imagined. Like, it's insanity. So, and people are giving up their homes. So look, everybody, that is it for today's video for right now. The state of America. I will have a part 2 and 3 with things going on. My goodness gracious. A lot of you have enjoyed this live. That information I gave about the DPC primary care doctor was very crucial, very important. And I know some of you wrote that down to look into that. So again, this video will probably be uploaded again. This is a live, and I'll probably download and upload. I'll upload this video on a different day for you to see this. So, yes, she did. So that is it, everybody. I want you to, again, get those likes up, like, share, and subscribe. What am I going to do now? I think I'm going to bake me some cookies, y'all. I have some Pillsbury cookie dough, some chocolate chip cookies. I'm having my sugar-free fruit punch right now. I made some pasta shells, with ricotta cheese and spinach and ground beef, my meat sauce, and yeah, y'all. So that's it, everybody. Please hit all notifications if you subscribe, and I'll talk to you again. Bye, everybody. I enjoyed talking to you all. Bye. Have a good night.